Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my review slash overall impressions video of the Elder Scrolls Online beta. I felt the need to do this and sort of defend the game a little because I've read so many YouTube comments and there is a fucking rant brewing inside of me, the likes of which the internet has never seen. Don't look too much into that. Now don't get me wrong, while there's some things that we'll talk about that are a bit disappointing to say the least, overall my experience with the beta has been fun. Pretty much sums it up. So, coming into the ESO beta, I'd already sworn in the past to never return to the MMO genre. After 7 or so years on and off of playing World of Warcraft, I swore upon punishment of death that I would never return. So, needless to say, my general feel going into the MMO was, I'm probably not going to enjoy this. So, going in, the first thing that we obviously encountered was the character customization, which is quite diverse, actually. It's quite impressive. There's this rare and slightly infectious disease called RPG syndrome, where you sit there making a character for 2 hours and make it and then realise, shit, I don't want it, it doesn't look right, and then you go back and spend another 2 hours doing it. That's me in a nutshell. But we are on a short schedule and I was recording, so we skipped past the character customization with me sitting there twitching in the corner saying I wanted to look at it more. I wanted to look at it more. Overall, however, the character customization is quite nice for an MMO, more so than I'd expect. I thought they might have watered down on that considerably, but it's not disappointing. Not disappointing at all. So the next thing you notice after you've made your character is the fact that you start off in first-person mode, which is a slightly new thing for MMOs. You don't have many of them out there that are in first-person mode. You usually stick to the basic third-person, and it's the general thing that you see with any MMO, really. Although the controls felt a bit strange immediately, that may have just been me because I'm not used to playing with mouse and keyboard when I play Elder Scrolls games, as I tend to have a 360 controller plugged into my computer when I'm playing. But it only took me a few seconds to get the hang of it as I explored the nearby area and looted everything within a 20-yard radius. Now, the introduction is pretty much what you'd expect from your average MMO, but it is lightened up greatly by the voice actors. Immediately, you meet the Prophet, who's voice acted by, I forget his name exactly, but he's the guy that voice acted Gandalf in, wait no, not Gandalf, what the hell am I on about? Fucking Dumbledore in Harry Potter. I can already read the comments. Anyway, after you meet Gandalf, fucking Dumbledore, you bump into a Nord warrior, who is voiced by Jennifer Hale. If you don't know who Jennifer Hale is, you're not a gamer, and you should go burn in hell. And the next character that you meet is voiced by the legendary John Cleese. Once again, if you don't know who he is, burn in hell. Nah, I'm just screwing with you. When I was playing and recording it, I completely and utterly forgot the voice actors' names. Anyway, moving on. When you escaped Cold Harbor via the Prophet summoning the spirit of Akatosh or something to grant you passage, in order to free the Prophet from his cage, Jennifer Hale had to sacrifice herself, and we had to leave her behind. No! Why? Why? Literally, I bought the game just so we could return and save Jennifer Hale. We will not leave her there. Anyway, on a more serious note, after we'd left Cold Harbor, we were teleported out of the Daedric Prince's realm and into a inn, I thought it was, or some kind of room, and the Prophet spoke to you in his head. You'd been separated during the teleportation and you have to find him later on. But the first things first, at least in this version of the beta, I was teleported instantly to the city of Stonefall, I think it was. In this instance, I was playing as the Ebonheart Pact. I'm not sure if it changes via race or if it just changes via faction that you choose. Obviously, you're not going to be spawning in an Ebonheart Pact controlled city if you're in the Elmeri Dominion. That would be stupid. But yes, upon spawning in the city, we met up with the town's guard and was set to the main front lines of the thing. After doing a few odd tasks and quests, as you would expect from any MMO, although not much hunting and gathering, like go collect 10 boar asses like you have in World of Warcraft. There wasn't much of that at all. And keeping in mind all of it was voice acted, it was quite actually interesting to listen to the characters and see what the hell's going on. And this city that we just spawned in is actually under siege by the Daggerfall Covenant. Is it just me, or every time I think Daggerfall Covenant, I think Covenant? Because that's what the NPCs say. They say the Covenant is here. And I can't think, well, where the fuck's Master Chief? Because he could really help out with this siege. But anyway, on a more serious note, after a few meaningless quests, we eventually got to actually beat back the Daggerfall Covenant, obviously just NPCs in this situation, and lift the siege and the assault and push them back into the sea. and save the city from an invasion, this being at like level 4. Which could have been more, to be perfectly honest. It was a little bit easy, but you know, these are just the starter quests. But for starter quests, and this early on in the game, it was quite an interesting and fun quest to do, if I don't say so myself. But we won't go too far into detail with the story. I just wanted to give you a basic example of what I experienced within the first like half an hour to an hour of gameplay. Instantly chucked into the action, instantly got some voice acted, pretty awesome quests to go out and kick the shit out of the enemy faction. And generally, just the whole starting experience that I had was such a breath of fresh air to the fucking like 8 or 7 bloody years of World of Warcraft where I'd spawn in bloody Northshire Abbey, kill some wolves, go to Goldshire. Oh, well, I'm awake, yeah. That wasn't the case here. It may just be because it's a new MMO, and I'm definitely sure that you'll get bored of it eventually, as you would anything when you repeat it so much. But it's definitely a lot more, holy shit, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I think it's in great favour to the fact that all of the quests, all of the NPCs, they are all fully voice acted. Which may seem like a small and insignificant thing to some MMO players out there, especially the hardcore ones that just want to raid and do nothing else. I was one of you, and I hate you. But for me personally, as an RPG player and a lover of the ElderScrolls series, the lore, the story, the interaction with the NPCs, although that could be more on certain accounts, I do wish the NPCs would take more notice of your race and your background. I haven't got to fully experience that to the degree that I'd like to. That would take some testing, so I can't really comment on it. But I've heard that it's not, you know, up to par with what you'd really like. If I'm an Argonian and I do quests for Dark Elves, I want that Dark Elf to be fucking dodgy and doesn't really want my help and sort of insulting me at the same time. I want that kind of immersive stuff. But when I was playing the beta at least, nobody took note of me being an Imperial. They never asked me, what the hell's an Imperial doing around here or something, and then said, never mind, just go do what I want you to do. There was none of that. I didn't feel like me being an Imperial really mattered at all. But that might just be for beta, that might be a patch, or that might just be what it is. It might be me asking too much of the game, to be perfectly honest. And really, me saying that is a perfect example of what some people have been commenting with negative stuff, saying about the game that it's not as up to par with the ElderScrolls series. I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but the bottom line generally here is that this is an MMORPG, not an RPG. And on that fact alone, you can't go into it thinking, oh, it's the next Elder Scrolls in this series. I'm going to compare it to Skyrim. Because it's not going to be Skyrim. It's not going to be as good or as high quality as a single-player focused Elder Scrolls game would be. But I will say that they've done an excellent job at imitating it, that trying to make it feel like an Elder Scrolls game. It does. It really does. In first person, it's fluid, it makes you feel like you're playing an Elder Scrolls game, but with your friends playing it as well. Obviously, graphics are important to a certain degree. After all, you want the game to look nice, right? But in the instance of an MMO, take World of Warcraft for example, they had the same level of graphics, look and feel for like 5 bloody years before they updated it. And the reason for that is MMOs don't need to have top quality graphics. Because the aim of an MMO is longevity. They want it to last and last the years, and generally if they aim for a middle mark, a nice looking graphics that doesn't look too bad, you can tweak it up for the higher quality computer rigs that people have, or you can tweak it down to a moderate level for those that don't have a powerful rig. And that way you cater to all of the players. They don't need to spend £1,000 on a computer in order to play this game. Compared to if they went for maximum graphics and you have to spend a bunch load on a new rig in order to play it. So generally what I'm trying to get across here, that in the instance of MMOs, saying, oh, the graphics is shit, doesn't mean anything. The graphics is nowhere near a major part of an MMO. As long as it looks nice, that's fine. If it looks nice, and Elder Scrolls does, if you hit it on Ultra, if you can't run it on Ultra and you can only run it on Medium, then I can understand your frustration. But the graphics are not bad. Another complaint that you'll often hear is the amount of bugs. These people are fucking idiots. First of all, it's a beta. It's going to have bugs. And don't give me the, oh, they're so near to release bullshit. Go away from betas if you don't want bugs. If you go into a beta, you accept the fact that the game is not yet finished. But yes, I experienced some bugs. Like I said, beta is going to have bugs. That's what a beta fucking is. But generally, these bugs were very small. I found one glitched quest. I occasionally dismounted my horse randomly, which was quite funny. And on occasion, I randomly fell through the world, which was once again funny. Anyway, let's move away from all the negativity for a bit, shall we? I did not get to experience the beta anywhere near to the level and degree that I would have liked to. The crafting system, for instance, looks very detailed and has great depth to it. The potential there to make an all-crafting character for just economy and, you know, making armor and shit, and being known actually on your realm and in your guild and whatnot, and in your general community for being the person that crafts the best swords or the best imperial armor, things like that. And it looks quite fun to do, actually, as an RP player. Going around looting things and gathering resources and everything is quite appealing to me, although that may get old eventually. The player versus player system, or PvP, whatever the hell you want to call it, looks very, very interesting. I played PvP in World of Warcraft for like half of the time that I played it. I did raids in the first half during Classic and Burning Crusade, and then I PvP'd in Wrath and Cataclysm. So it was like a 50-50 kind of shot. But player versus player appeals to me greatly because it's fighting in the general entire region of Tamriel. It actually kind of reminds me of PlanetSide in the open scale kind of landscape. I'm sure there's better examples. But you have to work together on the giant open world thing to siege keeps in order to get Elder Scrolls inside. And if they take Elder Scrolls out, it's kind of like territories, but with the Elder Scrolls as a capture the flag thing that you have to take from keep to keep and try and take from the other team or defend it from the other teams and everything. There's lots of potential for awesome PvP content in this game that I definitely am going to enjoy the hell out of. I don't think I have heard anything bad about the PvP, other than maybe that the Old Merry Dominion kicked everyone's ass in the beta. But hopefully they balance that out. That's my only concern about PvP, is that it might be a little unbalanced if they don't play it correctly. But hopefully they got on top of that and have some kind of way to balance the teams out. Otherwise, one team might become progressively more powerful than the other one, and it will feel a bit unfair. But hopefully, there's a few easy ways that they could get around that. So hopefully they implement them. Okay, so I'm going to try and name a couple of things that I look forward to seeing and maybe want to see in the future added to the game, as we're going to try and end this video at 15 minutes. So we'll do a sort of lightning round, if we will. Mounted combat. The potential for this is astounding. I just really want to be able to joust with my friends, hold maybe giant tournaments and place bets on each other as to who's going to win. The potential for it's awesome, and I'd love to see something like this in the future. First person cameras wherever the hell you like. Currently you can only be third person while doing activities like fishing or riding on your horse. I'd love to see first person for this. FOV sliders. Total Biscuit will like this. In first person view, it's sometimes a real pain in the ass to see the area of effect enemy creatures are producing, and meanwhile they're about to spray you with fire, but you can't see it because you're too close to the enemy. Some slight UI improvements, and possibly the ability to customize it for yourself and move them wherever the hell you like. Also, timers perhaps to see if damage over times and buffs, debuffs or whatnot, how long precisely they have left. Horses should be able to swim in water. I don't know whether or not that was a bug, but I couldn't spawn my horse in water. It was weird. My last request slash tidbit is, please, for the love of God, never add flying mounts. Flying mounts killed the environment of World of Warcraft. Being able to fly over everything that the game developers have made is just a kick in the fucking crotch, and it's horrible. Never add flying mounts. Seriously, never do it. Okay guys, we'll end this here. I think I've talked enough about this now, and generally my overall opinion on the MMO is very simple. It has great potential. I look forward to playing it. I'm quite sad I didn't get to play enough of it during the beta, and I do recommend, especially for fans of the Elder Scrolls series, as long as you go into it not expecting a single player game, you'll enjoy it, and I recommend you buy it. Even if it's just to play for the first 33 days and give the game a chance for yourself. That is all for now. I will see you guys later. Soul out.